She said it like she meant it, cold, flat, without hesitation. "You're the biggest disappointment of my life." The words didn't just cut, they hollowed something out inside me. I stood there, halfway between anger and disbelief, staring at the woman I thought I still knew. Her eyes didn't flinch. She meant every syllable. It wasn't the first time we'd argued, but this one felt different. Something had shifted in her tone, something final. It was the kind of sentence you can't take back, no matter how many apologies come after. I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing came out. The silence between us was louder than any shouting match we'd ever had. I turned away, pretending to focus on the half-packed suitcase on the bed, though my hands were shaking. "You really believe that?" I asked quietly. She crossed her arms, her expression hard. "You stop trying, Tom. You've been coasting through life while I'm the only one carrying the weight." I let out a hollow laugh. "You mean the weight of pretending we're fine?" Her eyes flickered, just for a second, but I caught it. A tiny flash of guilt, or maybe fear. Then it was gone, replaced by the same wall she'd been building for months. "This isn't working anymore," she said. "We both know it." I should have said something to fight for us. Maybe remind her of the nights we stayed up talking about everything and nothing, or the mornings she used to steal my coffee just to annoy me. But all I could think about was the message I'd seen 2 nights ago, a text that wasn't meant for me. It had flashed on her phone while she was in the shower. A message from a contact named Jay. The words were simple: "Last night was perfect. I can still taste you." At first, I told myself there had to be an explanation. A joke, maybe, or something taken out of context. I deleted the notification before she saw me looking. I couldn't bring myself to ask. I didn't want to hear the answer. But once you've seen something like that, you start noticing everything else: the way she guarded her phone, the late nights, the new perfume she said a coworker gave her. I wanted to believe it was all in my head. But now, hearing her call me a disappointment, it felt like the final confirmation. She wasn't angry because I'd failed her. She was angry because she'd already replaced me. I zipped up the suitcase, the sound sharp and final. "You win," I said. "I'll save you the trouble of figuring out how to end it." She blinked, caught off guard. "What are you talking about?" "I'm leaving," I said. "Since I've apparently failed you in every way, consider this my last act of disappointment." Her expression shifted. "Tom, don't be dramatic." "Dramatic?" I snapped. "You call me a disappointment and expect me to sit here like it's just another Tuesday argument." She sighed, rubbing her temples. "You're twisting my words. I didn't mean it like that." "Then how did you mean it?" I asked. Her mouth opened, then closed again. No answer. Just silence and the faint hum of the ceiling fan. That was all I needed. I grabbed the suitcase and walked toward the door. She didn't try to stop me. That hurt more than anything she'd said. The night air hit me like a slap. Cold, sharp, real. I stood on the porch, watching the wind ripple through the trees, my breath visible in the glow of the streetlight. The house behind me felt like a ghost of everything we used to be. I half expected her to come after me, to say something, anything. She didn't. I drove with no destination, the road stretching endlessly ahead. The radio played some song about heartbreak, and I turned it off. My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. Every memory of us replayed in fragments, her laughter echoing through the kitchen, the way she used to fall asleep with her hand on my chest, the promises we made to never become one of those couples who stopped trying. By the time I pulled into a motel parking lot 2 towns over, it was past midnight. The neon sign buzzed faintly, the flickering light casting everything in red and blue. I checked in, dropped the suitcase on the floor, and sat on the edge of the bed staring at the wall. Sleep wouldn't come. My mind kept circling back to that text, that name, Jay. I didn't need proof anymore, but something in me wanted to see it with my own eyes, to stop living in the grey space between suspicion and truth. I opened my phone and scrolled through her social media. Photos of dinners, vacations, her new promotion. Nothing looked suspicious at first glance. But there, buried in the comments, was one from a man named Jason. "Proud of you," it said. A heart emoji followed. Jason. J. A co-worker, I remembered. The same one she mentioned a few times, always casually, like he was no one. I clicked his profile. His most recent post was a photo from last weekend, a sunset by the lake, 2 wine glasses clinking. The caption read, "Some nights are worth remembering." In the reflection of the glass, faint but unmistakable, was her silhouette. I stared at the screen until my vision blurred. There it was. The truth. The thing I already knew but didn't want confirmed. I didn't cry. I didn't throw the phone. I just sat there, feeling something inside me go quiet. Like a flame burning out after too long. In the morning, I wrote her a note. Nothing dramatic, nothing angry. Just the truth. You were right. I did disappoint you. But not because I stopped trying. Because I kept trying after you already gave up. I hope he gives you what I couldn't. I left the note on the kitchen counter when I returned to the house to grab the last of my things. She was asleep, curled on the couch, phone still in her hand. For a second, I wanted to wake her, to see if there was any trace of the woman who once said she couldn't imagine a life without me. But I knew better. Some people only look back once they realize you're gone. When I closed the door behind me, the click of the lock sounded like an ending. As I drove away, I didn't feel anger anymore. Just a strange kind of peace, like I'd been holding my breath for too long and finally exhaled. Later that evening, my phone buzzed. It was her. One message. "Tom, please. Come home. I'm sorry." I stared at it for a long time, the ache returning in quiet waves. Then I turned the phone off and let it fall onto the passenger seat. For once, I disappointed her on purpose. And somehow, it was the first time in years that I felt free.